What's up, people? It's your boy Casual Talk here. Today I'm going to be talking about how modern racism and segregation is going to continue to keep people apart. Just keeping it real and keeping it raw here. Another thing and another input to mention in this video that's also related to the modern segregation, modern racism, is how gentrification is further pushing a lot of people out that's already in poverty to further be around people who are already associated with poverty and comfortable living in poverty. A lot of jobs are being eliminated out of poverty neighborhoods, poverty-driven neighborhoods full of crime, full of hate, full of drama, gun violence, drugs. A lot of people lack the ambition because they've gotten so comfortable without having the ambitious mindset. The leaders leaving the home, aka the men, no longer be part of the homes in a poverty environment. All of this could associate with black people, Hispanic people. Then we have the whites, Asians, Africans. It just depends on the culture. Okay? Now, as far as I'm concerned, modern racism and segregation, it also divides people physically and emotionally and mentally. There's some people that has traumatic experiences, trauma, dealing with other black people who practices the culture of being ghetto and ratchet. I can understand why there's a term called black fatigue, but it should actually be called ghetto, ratchet, black fatigue. And ghetto and ratchet has no skin color. It does not just apply to a subgroup of black people. It also applies to a subgroup of white people, a subgroup of Hispanics, a subgroup of Asians. There's gangs everywhere you go. Some type of nationality, some country, there's the rich and the poor. And there's the people who's in the middle. The middle class still exists. Don't buy that lie off the media saying that, oh, the middle class don't exist or the middle class is going to be eliminated. Sure, it can be very rare to come across a person who's middle class in certain major cities or certain places where it's very expensive. But overall, you got to look at the state wage, the average, and those who are middle class, who is well off in certain places. You could be middle class in Texas. You could be middle class in Missouri. Certain places, being middle class could take you very far than other states and other major cities today. You could live in the suburbs and still live further out away from a major city, make a certain amount of money in the city, and go home to your suburban home. It's highly possible. I spoke to people who worked in New York City, and they would travel an hour back to go home to New Jersey. I didn't know where they live, but there's people who does stuff like that. They would they would rent out a cheap place, buy a cheap home, and they will still work in a major city. Now, the topic of this, with how modern racism, modern segregation is keeping a lot of us divided. For one, people are emotionally drained of the ignorance and the arrogance behind many different cultures, particularly black people, because on the media, me being black, I know this firsthand. We're always going to be painted at a negative light, and there's black people who are continuing to proudly be put in a negative light, and there's women, unfortunately and sadly, who grows up to believe that this is what it means to be a masculine man. Pookie and Ray Ray is the father figure or the masculine type, when it's not true. It's just a blind, deceitful way of thinking. Pookie and Ray Ray, he has the assertiveness. He may have the dominance, but it's all out of hate. It's all out of violence. There's so many women who died at the hands of hood dudes that they were into, dudes that they were messing with, who was in and out of prison. There was a video that I just recently came across from Anton Daniels of a black woman who proudly and arrogantly did not care that people judged her for having 10 kids by multiple baby daddies. And I wouldn't be shocked if none of them was not in the children's lives. That's disgusting. Thank God I'm not even in the dating market. Even if I have a vasectomy, the worst case scenario is for me to get another woman pregnant outside of my marriage, cheat on top of that, and possibly catch an STD. There's too many things that I could lose in a sense. I could lose my health, I could lose my family, I could lose my money. I'm not gambling. I'm not gonna test that. See, justification and poverty, they go hand in hand. Modern day racism, modern segregation, it's definitely keeping a lot of people divided. One of the main reasons why I brought that topic up, especially for this video, is the fact that in reality, with the world around me, most strangers, your average neighbor, is not going to go out of their way to say, hey, hi, good morning, how are you? How often do you know anybody or a stranger would go out of their way to ask how's your day going? To ask how you're doing? To genuinely want to know how is everything? A lot of people does not get that. A lot of people does not get people to come out of their way to say good morning, hey, how are you? Just actually acknowledge your existence. It feels good to be acknowledged. I definitely agree. Now, I'm at a point, and this is not to talk arrogantly. There's times that I just want a peace of mind. I want peace. I could be in a good mood, but there's times where I feel drained and I just don't want nobody bothering me. And those are the times that a lot of people will come out of their way to bother me. I think it's just another way of them just wondering how I'm doing and stuff. And living in South Carolina too. And I'm pretty sure it's like this everywhere else. South Carolina has more of a hospitality than they do like major cities like New York City. Being a New Yorker, okay? It just depends on the people, depends on where you live, depends on where you are, because there's just some places that a lot of people are brought up around racism. They're not used to seeing black people, Hispanics living in their area. Their area starts to become gentrified. There's nothing wrong with that. Change is necessary and needed. It's what brings further diversity, job growth. It educates people. It exposes people to around different cultures. And I believe when you're not exposed to different cultures, you're truly missing out. That's what I think. I believe the average man who is not exposing themselves around different cultures, they are missing out on life. Because there's so much things that you could explore and learn just by exposing yourself to different cultures. There's a lot of people at my job who are Filipino. I have Hispanic people who works at my job. I have Chinese people who works at my job. People from different parts of the United States, different parts of the world who works at my job. I love diversity. I appreciate diversity. I thrive off of it because, for one, you're associated with different cultures, different people, different ethnic backgrounds. It challenges you. And it also exposes the people who are racist. And the people who are ignorant, of course. The average man in general, when it comes down to strangers, they are not going out of their way to say, hey, hi, how's it going, how are you, like that. They're minding their business. They're keeping to themselves. It could be for many reasons. It could be because, for one, they're getting older. Two, they probably had bad experiences with interacting with strangers in the past. that they rather just stick to themselves? And 3, can be due to ignorance, racism, lack of intelligence. So many things. So many things could be associated with people not really wanting to associate themselves with strangers that they rarely know like that. And it's completely understandable. I'm at an age now where I no longer want to really talk to people like that, unless you're my coworker. But there's times that I feel drained, that I feel like, man, I'm getting tired of always talking to this person. There's times that I just want to cool off, chill, relax. I just want to go to work, do my job, and go home. That's it. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's just me. Everybody may have their prerogative. Everybody may have what they associate with. Everybody may have their lingo. There's introverts, extroverts, ambiverts. I'm more of an ambivert, but there's times where I feel like a complete introvert. There's times where I feel like I'm an extrovert. I'm more of the ambivert. I'm more in between. But it depends on the people. It depends on their energy. It depends on the vibe. And modern day racism is definitely holding a lot of people back from reaching greater heights, because there's many people that you could come across that could change your life. But because you're stuck on their race, that's the reason what's also holding you back. Oh, he's white. Oh, he's black. Oh, he's Hispanic. Oh, he's Asian. It should not even matter, because we're all God's children. God made man. God made woman. Sure, God may have created race, different ethnic groups, backgrounds, tribes, you name it, right? But at the end of the day, we're all going to bleed the same and die the same in the end of the day. So all of that hate, racism, drama, it's stupidity. It does not matter. Just not too long ago, I'm going outside. 2 of my neighbors to the right, they don't even bother saying hi, good morning, good afternoon to me. They don't even acknowledge me. They just look at me and that's it. And I've had too many bad experiences and instances with strangers, especially men, to where I distant myself. Because Pookie and Ray Ray, I had bad experiences with dudes like that. I had bad experiences with white dudes who were hillbillies, rednecks. A lot of the times I've had racist encounters. And I'm the one that's going out of my way to say, hey, hi, how's it going? Good morning, good afternoon. So now I got the mindset to where it's like, if I don't see a sign that you're friendly, if I don't see a reason to talk to you, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not wasting my time talking to you. I'm no longer going out of my way to waste my time talking to strangers, especially my neighbors. If you're giving me the vibe and the energy that I do not want to be bothered and I do not like you, or I do not want to talk to you, if that's the vibe you're giving me, cool, I'm going to leave you alone. It's the same thing like in my job. I work at a hospital as an environmental services cleaner. I have a few people at my job. I used to say, hey, hi, how's it going? Good morning, good afternoon. And they act like they don't want to talk to me. Some of them were disgusted by me. Some were racist. And you know what? Guess what I do? I act like they don't exist. I keep my distance and I don't talk to them. And every time when I pass these people, when I pass around them, they act like they do not want nothing. They act like they want nothing to do with me. Does it hurt my feelings? Do I care about it in the end of the day? No, I do not, because that's their problem. That's not my problem. You don't like me for whatever reason, that's your problem. At the end of the day, guys, this is the reality check that a lot of people need to see. Everybody's not your friend. Everybody's not going to accept you because you're black. There's just a lot of people out there that does not like black people. There's a lot of people out there that does not like white people. I'm one of those people where it's like, I judge by character. If your character is flawed, then I'm not going to mess with you. I go by character, not your race. Race does not matter to me. It's all a lie. It's like society wants us to focus on that because a lot of negative stereotypes and a lot of negativity on social media from other people's traumatic experiences, they want us to focus on that. They want us to focus on the wrong narrative, the wrong thing. And the wrong things is very well the very things that's bringing a lot of people down, holding a lot of people back from many blessings that God may have for them. Just keeping it real. I'm not gonna make this video any longer than what I've intended it to be, guys, but that's pretty much my small rant. But hey, I've accepted reality for what it is. It is what it is. The world may get worse, but at the end of the day, technology is also to blame. Social media is also to blame. The reason why a lot more people are separated, yes. But at the end of the day, the average person, the average stranger, I don't go out of my way to talk to like that anymore because I had too many bad experiences. And if you're not really open-minded to really want to talk to a stranger, say, hey, hi, how's it going? I'm not going to bother talking to you and wasting my time either. And that's just where I'm at in life. Casual talk here. Peace out. Let me know what you think.